It was supposed to be the happiest day of my daughter Emily's life. The church bells rang, sunlight streamed through the stained glass windows, and guests filled the room with laughter and chatter. Emily stood at the altar in her white gown, glowing with joy. But then my grandson Ethan tugged at my sleeve, his face pale, his eyes wide with fear. "Grandpa," he whispered, "you have to stop this wedding, right now." My heart nearly stopped. "Ethan, what are you talking about?" He looked around nervously, then leaned closer. "Mom doesn't know who Mark really is. Please, if she marries him, something terrible will happen." In that moment, the music faded and the world blurred. My daughter was about to vow her life to a man my grandson feared. Within 30 minutes, the police would storm through those doors. But before that moment came, I had to make the hardest decision of my life. Mark had entered Emily's life a year earlier, charming and confident. He was a business consultant, always talking about opportunities, always wearing expensive suits. At first, Emily seemed happier than she had been in years. After her painful divorce from Jason, I wanted her to find peace. But something about Mark never sat right with me. The first time I met him at Emily's apartment in Chicago, he refused to shake my hand. Instead, he wrapped his arm around her like he owned her, his eyes daring me to challenge him. My favorite chair, the one I always sat in, he took it like it was his throne. Ethan noticed too. The boy has always been observant. During dinner that night, Emily tried to keep the mood light, but Mark dominated every conversation. He belittled her furniture, criticized her cooking, and when Emily proudly mentioned Ethan's academic achievements, Mark cut her off. "The boy needs more discipline," he said. "Kids today are too soft." I clenched my jaw. "Ethan's a good kid," I replied firmly. Mark smirked. "Of course you think so. Grandfathers see the world through rose-colored glasses." That night, I left Emily's apartment with my chest tight and my mind racing. I had seen these red flags before. Jason, Emily's first husband, had started the same way, controlling, dismissive, smiling while he slowly took everything from her. I couldn't let her repeat the same mistake. The next morning, Emily came to my house, her eyes red from crying. "Dad, you never like anyone I'm with. You're always suspicious. You were wrong about Jason." My heart ached. "Emily, Jason cheated on you. You remember how that ended." "At least he wasn't a monster," she snapped. "Mark loves me. He makes me feel wanted." Her words stabbed deeper than any knife. Then she dropped the bombshell. "Mark asked me to marry him. I said yes." My world tilted. Emily had given me an ultimatum: support her choice, or lose her forever. Days passed, but I couldn't shake my doubts. One afternoon, Ethan came over. We worked in the garden, just like we always did. He hesitated before speaking. "Grandpa, there's something weird about Mark." My pulse quickened. "What do you mean?" Ethan glanced around, then whispered, "When Mom's not around, he goes through our stuff. He stares at family photos like he's memorizing them. And he has 2 phones. Who needs 2 phones?" I froze. "Are you sure?" Ethan nodded. "I even saw him checking Mom's bank papers. When he noticed me watching, he pretended he was tidying up. Grandpa, something's wrong with him." The weight of his words crushed me. My grandson had confirmed what I feared. Mark wasn't just arrogant. He was dangerous. The night before the wedding, I barely slept. I paced my hallway, staring at old family photos. Emily as a little girl. Emily in her first wedding dress. Emily holding Ethan as a baby. My late wife Helen used to tell me, "Trust her, Robert. She'll learn from her mistakes." But Helen was gone, and I felt utterly alone. I kept replaying Ethan's warnings in my head. 2 phones, financial papers, questions about my pension and house value. It didn't add up to love. It added up to a scheme. And now on the wedding day, my grandson stood beside me, begging me to stop it. "Grandpa, please," Ethan whispered again, his voice trembling. He's lying to her. He's not who he says he is. The ceremony had just begun when I made my move. I raised my hand and shouted, "Wait." Gasps filled the church. Emily turned to me, her eyes wide with shock. "Dad, what are you doing?" I swallowed hard. "Emily, before you make this decision, you need to know the truth." Mark's smile faded, replaced by a glare sharp enough to cut glass. "Robert, sit down," he ordered. But Ethan stepped forward. "No, Mom, he's right. Mark has 2 phones. He's been going through your financial papers. He even asked how much Grandpa's house is worth. He's not marrying you for love. He's after money." The church erupted in murmurs. Emily shook her head, tears brimming in her eyes. "Ethan, that's not—" Before she could finish, the heavy doors slammed open. Police officers stormed in, their boots echoing across the marble floor. "Mark Stevens," one officer barked. "You're under arrest for fraud, identity theft, and embezzlement." The room froze. Emily gasped, covering her mouth. Mark tried to run, but the officers pinned him down in seconds. His expensive watch clattered to the floor as handcuffs clicked shut. The wedding guests whispered in shock. Emily stood trembling, her bouquet slipping from her hands. "Dad," she whispered, You knew?" I stepped forward, my voice steady despite my pounding heart. "I suspected, but Ethan was the one who saw the truth. He's the reason you're safe today." Emily turned to her son, tears streaming down her face. She pulled him into her arms, whispering, "You saved me." The police dragged Mark out, his charm gone, his mask shattered. The church that once felt warm now echoed with the reality of betrayal. Later that evening, Emily sat in my living room, her hands wrapped around a cup of tea she didn't drink. "Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't listen. I thought you just wanted to control me again." I placed my hand gently over hers. "I don't want to control you, Emily. I just want to protect you. And sometimes, protection means asking the hard questions, even when they hurt."
That evening, Andrew walked into the room. David cradled the baby, smiling proudly. Madison watched with bittersweet eyes. Andrew's heart split in 2. He can speak now, destroy their marriage, rip open wounds. Or he could stay silent. He forced a smile. "Madison, your recovery looks excellent. You'll be able to go home soon." Her eyes searched his, unspoken fear flickering. She knew. Later, as he walked out, she whispered, "You know, don't you?" His voice broke. "Yes, but she's safe. She's loved. That's what matters." Tears rolled down her cheeks. "Please, Andrew, don't take this away." He nodded. "I won't, but I'll always be here for her, for you, if you ever need me."